Welcome to this training where I want to talk to you guys about what to maybe stop your binge eating. Maybe you've learned some tools, more specifically on how to stop giving into your binge urges, but you're finding yourself not wanting to use the tools. So I see this so often with a lot of clients that come to work with me. It's like, Lorna, I know what to do. I know that there are certain techniques and tools that I can use to not give in to my urges. And even though I know what to do, even though I've learned the tools, I don't want to use them. And maybe you've experienced this for yourself. I know for me personally on my journey, I remember just praying for a solution, like praying for somebody to tell me, okay, the next time you feel an urge to binge, do this and it's going to help you to not give in. I literally just wanted to know, what do I do? And I didn't want to be told, like, just go read a book or like take a bath. Like, I had very tangible, specific tools that would help me become less impulsive and not give in to my urges. And I learned some of those tools. You guys hear me talk about some of the tools: breath work, taking a cold shower, shaking it out. Like, these are all different ways to create a state change in your body to help you not give in to your urges. But even when I learned about some of these tools and I knew how effective they were because I tried them, I didn't want to use them. And a lot of the times my clients will come to me and they'll say, Lorna, I know what to do. I know I can do some breath work when I feel an urge. I know I can go take a cold shower. I know that I can just shake it out. I know I can do some nervous system regulation techniques, but I don't want to. And it's the most frustrating thing because you literally, I just need to be told what to do. But you know what to do. I can literally tell you right now, the next time you feel an urge to binge, go take a cold shower. The next time you feel an urge to binge, do some breath work. The next time you feel an urge to binge, shake your body, literally shake your body. But knowing what to do isn't enough. And you might be frustrated because you're like, I don't understand. I know better. Why am I not doing better? And it's literally more frustrating. It's literally more frustrating to know what to do and not do it, to then not know the tools at all. Because if you don't know what to do, you're like, well, I just gave in because I didn't know what to do. But once you know the tools, it's literally the most frustrating thing. When I know that the tools that I can use, I don't. And in this training, it's really frustrating. I see you. So I want to explain to you why this happens. Because it's not that you don't want to stop binge eating, you do. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're not capable of using the tools, because you're more than capable of using the tools. There's 3 reasons why you know what to do and you're not doing them. Now, the first reason is you are looking at using the tools as punishment. You think to yourself, like, instead of binging, I have to go take a shower. Instead of binging, I need to go shake my body. Instead of binging, I have to do this breath work thing. Like, I don't want to do that. That seems like punishment. I want to eat. You want to binge. You want the comfort. You want the relief. And in your mind, you think to yourself, this is literally the one thing, so much comfort. It's the one thing that I look forward to come the end of the day. It's the one thing that makes me happy. Maybe food is the most pleasurable thing in your life. And you're like, why would I use a tool and prevent me from doing the thing that I want to do? I want to binge. And even though you don't want to, you do. Drop a yes in the chat that landed. You're like, I also do. You're like, I don't want to, but I do. So you're thinking it's like punishment. You're thinking to yourself, like, why would I prevent myself from doing the very thing that I want to do? It literally feels like punishment. You're like, I want the pleasure. I want the dopamine hit. I want the relief at the end of the day. And I have to go do some breath work. So you're seeing it as punishment, but you can't see it as punishment. The tools aren't like put you in jail. The tools are there to help you become less impulsive, to regulate your nervous system so that when you do go and eat, you don't go overboard. So instead of feeling impulsive, you have a strong urge and then you go into the kitchen and then you just find yourself mindlessly snacking or maybe binge eating or maybe overeating. Instead of that, because you've used the tools, you're less impulsive. You're not in autopilot mode. You're not in this reactive state. So when you do go have a snack, you can sit down, you're more present, you're more grounded, and maybe just one bowl of ice cream is sufficient enough. Maybe you don't need the 3 bowls because you're not in autopilot. You're eating slower so that you're more connected to your body. You know, when you're eating really fast, you can't taste the food. You can't taste the food, but also you don't just stop when you're full. Because you're like, you eat so fast, and 5 minutes you're done the bowl of ice cream, and then you go back for more because your brain hasn't registered that it's full yet. And so you keep on eating, and then that's when you're like, you get to a point where you're just like overly full. So the tools, the first thing you have to understand is using the tools isn't punishment. It's not like you have to use this tool and then you can't eat. You have to use this tool. You have to do some breath work and then, sorry, kitchen's closed. You're going to use the tool to help ground yourself, to regulate your nervous system, so that when you do go have a snack, you eat a moderate amount. How does one learn to eat slow? Because I've naturally eaten fast since childhood. So this is a practice. You know, this is more like there's a few strategies I can share with you. It's like, you know, putting utensils down. I always say to my clients, if there's food in your mouth, there's no food on your fork. So a lot of the times people will have, like, they'll be eating something and they're already digging into the next piece. So if there's food in your mouth, there's no food on your fork. So put your utensils down. Even checking in with your 5 senses. So just like taking a minute and like, what does it smell like? What am I feeling right now? What am I seeing? Right? Engaging in your 5 senses. That literally can take 2 seconds. And that could just help you take a pause. Another thing is you can also put a timer on your phone and just kind of like time how long it typically takes you to eat. So let's say it takes you 5 minutes to finish a meal. Then maybe at your next meal, you try to do 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Like you just push it a little bit. Sometimes people are like, I need to try to eat my meal within 20 minutes. But if you're so used to eating your meal within 5 minutes, 20 minutes, you're going to be like, what the heck do I do? Do I stare at the wall? I literally remember being like, am I supposed to just like stare at the wall? I'm like, this is so awkward. I don't know how people take 20 minutes to eat. I'm like, what do you do? Like literally just like stare at the wall. So if it takes you 5 minutes, maybe you just extend it a little bit to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Then 30 seconds. Or maybe 6 minutes. And then you can slowly increase the amount of time. Okay? It's a really good idea. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay. So going back to what I was saying about the, I think there was another thing here. Let me just see. I hate the feeling after a binge. I just binged it. I really want to break this habit. Well, not giving into your urges is really the first step. It really is the first step, because when you stop giving into your urges stop popping up. And this is how you rewire your brain. This is what I teach inside of the Root and Rewire membership. So the first thing, again, I want to talk about the 3 things that are the reasons why you know what to do to not give into your urges, but you're not using the tools. So the first one is you're seeing using the tools as punishment. And like I said, you have to rewire your brain to say using the tools isn't punishment. Using the tools isn't saying you can't have a snack later on. It's saying you could still have the snack. You could still have your bowl of cereal. You can still have the bowl of oatmeal. You can still have the cookie, whatever it is, but you have to regulate your nervous system first so that when you do go have a snack, it actually feels like the real you. It doesn't feel like the urge is taking over. Okay. Now, the second thing you have to remind yourself is this is actually what we really want. So your mind is going to convince you, no, but what I actually really want is I want to binge. What I actually really want is I want to give in. The truth is you don't. The truth is that you have to connect back to your intuition, your truth, and your higher self. Because if you just listen to your urge is going to say, the urge is going to, you want the comfort, you want the pleasure, you want to binge. You don't want to. And like I said, you might be playing tug of war with yourself because you're like, Lorna, I want to binge. Yes, in the moment. But deep down, if you actually connect to the truth, if you actually connect to your higher self, what you want more than anything is to stop these habitual cycles more than anything. And so you have to take a pause and say, this isn't what I want. The urge is going to convince me that I have to give in. The urge is going to convince me that this is who I am. The urge is going to convince me that this is actually what I want to do. Like, I just want to say F it to my goals. I want to say F it. I don't even care. I don't care how bloated I feel. I don't care how shitty I feel afterwards. Like, the urge is going to tell you that you don't care. And for a moment, you might believe it. For a moment, you're like, yeah, actually, I don't give 2 shits. I don't care if I'm bloated. I don't care if I feel like crap. I don't care. But that's not your higher self. That's not your intuition. That's not the truth. That's not your heart and your soul speaking. That's the urge speaking. So you have to remind yourself what I actually want is to use the tools, because so drinking a bottle of water, that does nothing to your brain. I talk about this so often. Like, just think about it. If you drink some water, you might get full, but that doesn't wire your brain. That doesn't eliminate your urges. Tomorrow, if an urge pops up, you're going to have to drink another bottle of water. And then how about next week? You're going to, can you picture yourself doing that for the rest of your life? How about when you're at a social event and like the holidays are around the corner and there's 25 million desserts? You actually need to rewire your brain and get rid of your urges, because if not, you're going to have to rely on these quick fix tactics for the rest of your life. And you're going to be, I feel an urge. I need to go grab some water. And it's like, it's not sustainable. It's like, you don't even want to be doing that. So the first thing, like I said, is you have to stop seeing the tools as punishment. The second thing is you have to remind yourself the truth of what you actually really want, and you want to use the tools. Like, your mind says, I don't want to use the tools, and you might not want to, but the truth is that you don't want to binge. So when it feels like, but I want to, got to pause and say, but that's not my higher self. How do you rewire the brain? I truly don't know how to. So I have an entire program. It's called the Root and Rewire membership, where I teach you my Root and Rewire process. But for now, what I'll share is rewiring your brain is all about doing things differently. So what I'm sharing inside of this live is I'm making you think differently. So if you don't know where to start, check out the Root and Rewire membership. The link is in my bio. So in this live stream, see how I'm making you think differently, right? So right now, again, if you're seeing using the tools as like punishment for like, I can't eat, I'm helping you rewire your brain to say, wait, using the tools isn't punishment. It's helping me regulate my nervous system so that when I do go and eat, I'm less impulsive. So just right there, that's shift wiring your brain. Rewiring your brain to see food differently, to help you to not give into your urges. Because here's the thing, binge eating is a habit. I talk about this all the time. Every time you feel an urge to binge and you give in, you're further ingraining this habit into your brain. And so if you don't give into an urge, you're effectively rewiring your brain because you're going to be less impulsive. Your next urge is going to be less intense. And you stay consistent, your urges won't even pop up. You will not even have to try to not give in. You won't have an urge. Okay. So that was the second reason. Now, the third reason that you know all the tools of what to do to not give in to your urges, but you don't want to use them is you feel like it's a forever thing. You feel like if you feel like I'm going to have to keep on using the tools for the rest of my life, that feels really draining. Like if I told you right now that what can help you not give into your urges, I talked about this at the beginning, what can help you not give into your urges is tools like breath work, cold exposure, like hopping in a cold shower and shaking your body. Okay, those are just a few tools. If you tell yourself, I'm going to have to use these tools for the rest of my life, that feels really draining and exhausting. You're like, I don't want to be like 60 years old having to do this. You're using these tools in the interim of you healing your relationship with food. So you're not going to have to continue using these tools. Now, if you use quick fix strategies, then yeah, you're going to have to use them until you're 80 years old or 90 years old because you didn't actually do the work to heal your relationship with food. But these tools are just for right now as you are working on rewiring your brain to help you become less impulsive. It's not a forever thing. If you actually stay committed to using some of these tools now, your urges aren't going to even pop up and you're not going to have to use the tools. So don't think about it as like, I'm going to have to use these tools forever. It's just for right now. So for example, on my journey, I fully committed all of 2019, the majority of 2020, and I use these tools consistently over time. And now I haven't felt an urge in 5 years. I don't have to go and use breath work to then eat a few cookies in moderation. I just go and I just have a few cookies and that's it. Can you repeat the tools? Yes. So you can do things like shaking. So like standing up, shaking your body, cold exposure. So hopping in a cold shower, and then breath work techniques. So I can go out for dinner and I don't have to be like, okay, let me tune into my body. Let me connect to my fullness. Okay, am I hungry? Am I satisfied? Am I experiencing a craving? Like I just eat. But when I was on my journey and I wasn't in tune with my hunger and fullness cues, I did need to use the tools. I did need to like check in with myself. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how full are you? Are you hungry right now? Are you satisfied? Is this a craving? Is this an urge? Are you just bored? Like you have to check in with yourself. You have to use the tools. But because I use the tools, even like a hunger scale, when I was on my journey, now I've gotten back in tune with my hunger and fullness that I don't have to check in with my hunger and fullness cues. I just eat. So if you tell yourself, I just got to stay committed and implement the tools, I won't have to for the rest of my life. You can get back to eating like a normal person again. Another thing too, like even one of my clients brought up, she said, sometimes I get so annoyed because there are some people that don't have to use the tools. Like they just eat. And then I have to use the tools. So you might be shaming yourself. You might be judging yourself of like, how come some people can just go to the restaurant and just like eat. But like I have to like check in with my hunger and fullness, and then I gotta ask myself, okay, do you want more? Is this a craving? Is this an urge? But again, you're not gonna have to do it for the rest of your life. I don't have to use the tools anymore. I just eat. But I was consistent with using the tools when I was on my journey. So if you stay consistent, then you're going to spend the rest of your life eating normally, having a healthy relationship with food, effortlessly stopping when you're full. But if you're not consistent with utilizing the tools, then it's always going to be like, oh, I overate. Okay, let me try again tomorrow. And then work gets busy and you're like, honestly, I'm so exhausted. I just need to eat. I just need some type of comfort. So then you don't use the tools. And then another day goes by. And then you say, no, actually, for real, tomorrow I'm going to try using the tools. And then it's always like tomorrow. And then it's like you prolong it when really you could have spent the last week feeling less impulsive with food. Now, I don't want you to shame yourself. So if you're feeling shame of like, oh, I know what to do, I know the tools, why am I not using them? You have to let go of the shame. You have to let go of the shame. You have to let go of the shame because sometimes you might think to yourself, I know better, I should do better. You think that? Like, what the heck? I know better, I should do better. And sometimes that is true. It's like, well, sometimes if you have the knowledge, if you have the tools, then you can make changes. But when it comes to binge eating, it's not just about knowing the tools, it's about shifting your mindset to helping you actually implement the tools. And this is why people come into my coaching, because I can tell you right now, like a bunch of different tools, but there's still going to be resistance. And we have to chat through that. So even the 3 things that I shared with you, right? Like I just shared with you 3 different ways of looking at the tools differently. Like this is a way of me rewiring your brain. Like people think like, how do I rewire my brain? It's like, yes, I have my root and rewire process, but I'm also sharing with you different ways of looking at the tools to help you more easily use the tools so that you're not like, I know better. What the heck? Why am I not doing better? Because again, knowing the tools isn't enough. So don't shame yourself. If you're like, I know better. Lorna, you just told me 3 tools to use and like I don't even want to use them, because you have to rewire your brain. You have to see using the tools as like the greatest helper and becoming less impulsive, not as punishment. All the things that I shared inside of this little training. So yeah, sometimes you got to give yourself tough love. Yeah, you got to use the tools. If you want to stop your binge eating, you have to stop giving into your urges. You can't give yourself too much grace and you're like, oh, it's fine. I'm just going to give in one more time. Oh, I'm just going to give in one more time. Oh, today was so stressful. Oh, just, you know what? Just this one last time. Like you can't just give yourself too much grace, but you also can't be shaming yourself. So it's finding that balance between, okay, you got to use the tools. If you want to stop your binging, your emotional eating, your overeating, you have to stop giving into your urges. That's a given. But also, do not shame yourself if you're starting to learn the tools, but you're like, I don't want to use them. Don't shame yourself. Because on my journey, at the beginning, there was so much resistance to using the tools. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I've literally wanted prayed for a solution, and now I have some tools, and I don't use them. Like, I was even more frustrated and mad at myself because I'm like, I wish I was just oblivious. I wish I didn't even know what to do, because then if I gave in, I wouldn't beat myself up because I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. But you can't shame yourself. Like, you're just learning some of these tools maybe for the first time. And of course, like, you want to binge. Like, again, like, it is literally giving you pleasure. How does shaking your body remove binge urges? So the thing is, and I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear, you guys. Like, this is not like shake your body, hop in a cold shower, and do breath work, and you're going to stop your binge eating. Like, this is just one small thing that I'm sharing with you. So it removes the binge urges because it helps you become less impulsive. So these 3 strategies are a way to create a state change in the body. So let's say you're driving home from work and you're really impulsive. You're already thinking about what you're going to binge when you get home. You know that like impulsive state, right? You're like, I don't care. I've already pre-decided that I'm going to go home and I'm going to binge. You're impulsive. When you shake your body, it creates a state change. So what you actually want when you binge is you want to feel different. You want to feel comfort, relief. You want to feel comfort, relief, and feel different. So when you shake your body, you feel differently. You might actually even feel like a little tingling sensation in your body. You feel different. You create a state change. And when your body feels different, you think differently as well too. So even just like a few minutes of breath work or shaking, you're going to feel different. Your body's going to feel different. You're regulating your nervous system. And that feeling of like, I need to eat right now, it's like, I'm more grounded. You connect more to the truth of who you are. It's like shaking out the urge. Like the urge isn't me, I'm shaking it out. And you feel differently. Like even if you right now, you just stood up and you started shaking your body for like 30 seconds to 2 minutes or for the length of a song, you're going to feel different. You're going to feel different. You hop in the shower. If you've ever like water, it's like a shock. And you're like, whoa, I feel so different. So again, those tools help you to become less impulsive so that when you go and eat, you're no longer responding to an urge because you created time, space, and distance between feeling the urge and actually eating. Versus not using the tools. It's like I feel the urge and I give in right away. That's creating this habit. Feel an urge given, feel an urge given. Compared to you use these, strategies, you're creating space, time, and distance between feeling the urge and actually eating. So you're actually not giving into the urge anymore. You've grounded yourself, you regulated your nervous system. Now it's like I connected more to the truth of who I am. I'm connecting to my body more. So then again, like I said, when you go and eat, you're more connected to your hunger, your fullness, your satiety cues, and then you don't actually go overboard. And you consistently do that, you're not acting on your urges anymore. And then again, your urges become less intense. Hello, Lauren. Thank you for the follow. So happy you're here. Okay, so this is a little mini training on, again, if you know, like I just shared 3 different tools, and you might be like, okay, Lorna told me 3 different tools, and then the next time you have it yourself having resistance, you got to come back to this live. You got to come back to this training. Because again, knowing what to do is not enough. And this is why, clients will come to work with me because I can give you all the tools in the world. I can give you all the tools, but it's not the tools. It's implementing them. And a lot of people need support in implementing them. You got to shift the way you're looking at using these tools. You got to shift the way that you're looking at these tools so you can actually implement them. Stop giving into your urges and therefore no longer have them pop up. And that's what I want for you. Like, it's the greatest feeling in the world, just eating without some outside force, without the food noise saying, should you really be eating that? Okay, but do you need a second cookie? Should I get a second cookie? What should I have for lunch? Okay, but what did I have for breakfast? Like, it's so exhausting having these constant thoughts. But if you stay consistent with using the tools, you got to spend the rest of your life eating normally. No more food thoughts. You feel calm, you feel grounded, you're in tune with your intuition. You can make empowered choices with your food that make you feel like a badass in your own skin. Stopping when you're full becomes effortless. You're not even trying. You're like, I can't even finish the slice of pizza. Like, I'm good. You're going to wonder, like, how the heck and Bob you're ever going to do that. And then it's going to happen for you. And you're like, did I just do that? Was I that person? Because normally I look at other people who can stop when they're full. I'm like, they're like aliens. And then that happens for you and you're like, what the heck? And it's going to happen for you as well too. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Thanks for coming on this live and you stayed on the whole time. You badass. Okay. So I hope you found this helpful. I wanted to make this because on my journey, when I learned some of the tools, there was resistance in using them. And also my clients come to me and they also sometimes have resistance to using the tools. And I wanted to explain 3 reasons why. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Again, if you're like, okay, this makes so much sense and now I want support implementing them, and I want to learn how to rewire my brain, I encourage you to come inside of the Root and Rewire membership. It's a 6 or 12-month program. Learn your root and rewire process so that you can rewire your brain out of these habitual cycles so you no longer feel an urge to binge. Lauren, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you found this live stream. You're following along. Inside of the Root and Rewire membership, you get monthly coaching with me. So we didn't even get a chat back and forth, but inside of the membership, we come on Zoom, and this is where I can actually coach you and support you with what you personally need support with. Maybe it's like one of my clients that came up last month, and this was one of her questions. She's like, I'm learning the tools, but I don't want to use them. And I literally gave her coaching and support on this. So this is just something that you might have a question, something like that. There's an entire portal of training. So there are trainings on everything: how to stop secret eating, how to stop eating when you're full, how to get out of the all or nothing mentality. So if you eat something bad or off limits, you don't spiral out of control. What to do before, during, and after a binge. There's literally how to stop giving into your urges. It's literally everything. And then you're part of our incredible badass community to really help you to feel less alone. And these ladies are so committed to a better relationship with food. This is not a month-to-month program. It's not a 20-day program. It's not a self-paced program. You get real-time coaching with me, someone who's gone through binge eating and has lived experience that will help you go through this process and actually conquer. So the link is in my bio if you want to learn more about rewiring your brain, learn the Root and Rewire process that's helped hundreds of clients stop giving into their urges and eat normally again, have a better relationship with food. I encourage you to really start there. And inside of the membership, you're going to get access to our holiday challenge. It's a 30-day challenge to regulate and rewire. So that's what it's called, regulate and rewire. And I'm going to help you spend the next 30 days becoming less impulsive with food, rewiring your food habits, and showing up to every single social event with badass confidence so you can actually have the holidays this year be different than any other holiday. No more anxiety around food. You can navigate comments from family and friends. You can enjoy the sweets table without spiraling out of control. You can leave each social event satisfied. You feel great instead of oh, I'm so full. Why did I eat so much? So that is included when you join the membership now. So I'm so excited. Thank you for being here. I cannot wait to see you inside maybe the membership or the holiday challenge. It's going to be incredible. So you're welcome, Cami. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your night, you guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye, guys.